Hi, this is Mr. Wesley. Welcome to the Homeschool History Show. Today, we're going to look at another great moment from history. In 1492, Columbus made the first of 4 trips to the Caribbean on 3 ships, the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Here's why Columbus's discovery of America is great. Before we get going, though, a lot of people think of history just as when things happen, but just as important is where they happen. So Christopher Columbus was from Europe, namely a town called Genoa in Italy. But he worked for the Queen of Spain after the King of Portugal wouldn't hire him. Basically, he was looking for somebody to buy him a boat. And boats are very, very, very expensive. And although they're made of wood, you have to buy the wood, at least back then, not with paper or with a card or with an app, but with gold coins. And the only way to get gold coins was to make friends with a king or with the church, the Catholic Church specifically, which was also trying to expand the gospel. So Columbus bounced around, didn't get much work in his home country, didn't get much work from Portugal. That kind of broke his heart because the Portuguese were the first to figure out this whole sailing thing. And you see, people couldn't sail across the ocean before because they'd get lost. If you've ever been on a boat and looked around and there's no land, it's very hard to tell where you are. To make a long story short, there were new pieces of technology. Islamic believers must find the direction of a city every day called Mecca to pray to. And when Christians were entangled with them in the centuries before Columbus, discovered a little gadget they made called an Astrolab. You can see how high the sun is over the line where the land goes away. It's called the horizon. And with new clock technology from Spain, that's right, it was new once upon a time in history, you could measure where a star was or the sun was above the horizon at the same time every day. And using this, a little bit of math, which you'll learn about in your math class, you can find where you are. So all of a sudden, Columbus gets his boat from Spain, gets sent off to spread the gospel and find some gold, and armed with his astrolabe and 3 ships, set sail. Here's the crazy part. He thought he was going to India, right? Nobody knew there was a whole continent in between where he was leaving from and where he thought he was going to. So that's why they called Native Americans Indians. He thought he was in India. He wasn't. He was in the Caribbean islands. So why did he make 4 trips and not just 1? The people who sent him spent a lot of money to build him his boats, and they kind of expecting that he might find something valuable. And Columbus, wanting really badly to go sailing, promised that he would, so he would get his boats. And as fate would have it, he came back with a little bit of gold, which led the kings and queens and popes of Europe to believe there was much more where that came from. Therefore, it was worth sending him back. And not only did Columbus come back, this kicked off a whole era of the age of exploration. This has been the Homeschool History Show. I'm Mr. Wesley. Thanks for joining me for another great moment in history. Until next time, I'm History.